Hello, everybody. Kathy Hamilton here. I think this is day 3 of Let's Get Visual. Um, yes, Olivia Newton-John, for those of you who are as old as me and remembers her. So, we're not getting physical, obviously. We're getting visual instead. So, thus I digress for just one moment. After recording that last video that I made, there's been so many different things that are coming to me for all of us just to kind of maybe be able almost like to heal together or just be able to get through together. But before I kind of get to those in other videos, I wanted to spend a little more time on the body portion of Body House Other, in terms of like self-care and self-care more in the way of just self-appreciation, because what I'm really starting to experience, at least for myself, I'm finding, if other, like, wanting to give more, and not so much like in that people-pleasy kind of way, but just if someone is maybe asking you about something, or in my case, maybe they're needing some type of advice, or I'm trying to work with them on a specific topic, and even just generally kind of out there, like even with like just family and friends, because everything is so just, I'm not even sure what the word is. I mean, you all know what I'm talking about because we're all living through this together. So is it volatile? I mean, it's definitely just unsettling, I feel. I don't feel that most people feel like, calm and completely safe, which is also why it's so important right now that we spend that time internally and really putting our bodies first, our bodies and then our immediate surroundings, so that we have safe places to land, because it does not feel safe out there for a lot of people. And even for people that maybe don't feel like they're targets of anything, you're just not feeling safe because things are happening that normally are not happening, and you're not used to people being targeted in the way that they are. And yeah, and without getting into everything, because I really don't want to make this political per se, because I feel like that horse is being beaten, like as the saying goes. It's almost, I want to say it's not irrelevant, but it is, because it's just really giving us an opportunity to go within. And that's really the only way we are going to get through everything and be able to make things better. And in that, I just am wondering if you would just maybe entertain how many times, you do give more than you actually need to, because you're not valuing how much you are worth. And an example I have that just happened to me more recently was a friend of mine, was struggling with something. And I was offering, it's kind of like taking, okay, obviously our friendship, but also some coachy things that maybe I have done, energy healing work that I've done, and also just based on some of my experience and like studies that I've actually done, getting my certification and whatnot. And, I was offering, my suggestions and some guidance to what they could do to help their current situation. And then from that point, they were perfectly content with that. And then I was saying, oh, and if you want, something, blah, 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 some additional information, I can forward you some emails from various people with doing like EFT and things like that. And my friend just said to me, like, no, like I'm good with what you said. And it really hit me, because, how many times do we like try to keep giving more, or feeling like somehow, all the background that I have and all the experience that I have with the said situation, clearly, yes, I would be having a positive impact on them moving forward for their situation, because they could draw on a lot of things based on what I was saying. They did not need me to give them any other person to go to. Like what I was saying was enough. And so I just wonder, even maybe that was, okay, what I was actually saying to my friend, but how many times do we do more, where you've done something, I don't know, like just maybe even around the house, like my husband and I will, we kind of each have our own, certain things that we do. We kind of like try to divide up, like as equally as possible, just kind of based on almost who likes to do what. So there's certain things around the house that he likes to do. There's certain things around the house that I like to do. And, but like maybe like, okay, if I'm struggling, and I'm really having like a week or a period of time where I am just having a hard time getting to XYZ, or the same thing for him, one of us might pick up the slack, right? So, but how many times do maybe you do that where you're doing, like, you do a little bit extra, and then you give more, and then you give more. The person's not asking you to do any more. The person doesn't even need you to do any more. You're doing more, and then you end up creating a problem for yourself. Either like now you've totally maxed yourself out, or that you're then, or maybe you're actually getting annoyed because you're doing more than you should be doing. And I even use the word should there because almost like, yes, you could be doing less, but you're shooting yourself into doing more. And then, and maybe that other person can't even really like be appreciative in the way that you're needing them to, because they are like, having a moment and just really needing to spend some time more inward. And I just feel like, when will it be enough? Like, when are you just enough? And however you're showing up today is enough. So I just will invite you to, think about how you're spending your time, what you are saying, where you are giving more, and when silence and stillness could be your friend and really allow you. I talk about like, filling your cup and like putting yourself first in that way, like, make sure your cup is full, and then you can fill someone else's cup up with whatever they need, like, be it water, get your hydration in, and then make sure they've got theirs. But kind of using those analogies, just like, visualize what that would look like if you didn't offer as much like advice, especially if you've already said something. Do you need to say it 50 more times to this person? Or do you need to offer like 50 other things? And I say 50, yes, I know I'm exaggerating, but do you need to keep offering all this else, all this more in the situation? Or just saying what you said was quite enough, or doing what you did was enough. And now you just get to be still and relax and just really visualize, and kind of like just draw that in, just picture your day and what that would look like, and again, I like doing it through the five senses. It's just easy to me if you do that, so think about like what you would be saying, what you would be hearing, how you would be feeling. Would you be able to sit down more? Would you be able to snuggle up with a nice soft blanket? Would, you be able to really enjoy a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or a cup of whatever? And then like what that would smell like, and just what if you were able just to sit outside and just like take it in and just hear the outside and smell the outside and drink a cup of coffee or a cup of tea out there or whatever the heck you want to drink. And just really like just take that in and just like start there. And that will really help quell some of the unrest that you're feeling with everything going on outside of you, because at least you're creating peace and calm inside of you. So I hope that helps. I will be with you again soon. I love you. Bye.